at some pictures and see if you can name the pictures. Okay? Number 1. Can you recognize the picture? What is it? It's a star. Let's look at the second picture. What is it? You recognized that that's a tree. Let's look at the third picture. What is it? You recognize that that is a picture of a house. So when you looked at these 3 pictures, your brain was able to recognize the pictures. For you to understand what it means to read, we're going to do an activity. I'm going to show you some symbols or signs. Symbols or signs are made by people so we can communicate with each other. So I'm going to show you some symbols, and I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Okay? The first question is, do you recognize the symbol? And the second question is, do you understand what it means? Okay? So 2 questions. Do you recognize and do you understand what it means? So let's look at the 4 symbols. Okay? I have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Think about the 2 questions. Do you recognize the symbol? That means, yes, I've seen it before. Okay? If you recognize the symbol, put a check. Okay? So, yeah, I've seen this before. You can put a check. I've seen it before. Put a check. Maybe. I think I've seen it before. I know I've seen it before. Put a check. Yeah, I recognize. I've seen it before. Put a check. Okay? Let's look at the second column. Do you understand what it means? Right? So we look at number 1 and we say, oh, I know, it's a stop sign. When people are driving and I see that stop sign, my car needs to stop. So I understand what it means. I know that this sign is communicating to me that I need to stop my car. Okay? So I understand what it means. I know what this means. It means that I can write, that is a symbol for a question. It appears at the end of a question. When I write a question, I write that symbol. So I understand what it means. Okay? I've seen it before, but I don't know what it means. I don't understand what this means. Okay? So, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that symbol. Similarly, I've seen that. I've seen this, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know what it means. Okay? Okay? Now, if you have a check and a check for both the questions means I recognize, and I understand means you have read. That's what it means to read, to understand what that means. Okay? If you have a check, and a check means you understand what this means. You have just read. Okay? If you have a check and not a check, don't know how to read this, don't understand. Similarly, if you see this, you have a check, but no check means you don't know how to read this. What does this mean? You cannot read this. Next, we're gonna look at some words and do the same activity.